Okay. I have here this French fry scoop for scooping French fries and putting them in the little cup. You know, like if my hand is the cup and this is full of French fries, you just do this and then there's French fries in the cup, right? And it works pretty well because it was designed by people who know what the heck they're doing. But at the place where I work for money, we sometimes have to take things directly out of the fry basket and put them into fry cups, and we can't use this French fry scoop because it's too big, it doesn't fit in there. And we can't put them in a little area where like we would keep the fries because there's not enough room for that, right? So I was thinking, what if tongs, like we already used to do that, we already used tongs to take things out of the fry basket and put it in the French fry cups. What if tongs, but this? So just stick this on the end of the tongs, right? Mostly just the back half here because obviously this is the reason we can't use it is it's too big, right? So just cut it off from here, or you know, take this scoop part and just extend it past here and don't make it wider, right? So I'm gonna measure this out to try and replicate its geometry, and then I'm gonna try and put that on tongs basically, just to see if I can. I don't think we would ever use this at work because they're not gonna be like, oh, you just made a thing, we'll go ahead and use it. That it doesn't work like that, you know. Food safety standards exist, and making some random person making some random thing is not going to fly, you know. But I mean, just to see if I can do it, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure this out and see what it is. So first I need to know, also my pen has a cup holder attached to it. This thing here is a cup holder. I'm not going to explain how it works because that's not what this is about. So I'm going to measure this out. I'm going to start by drawing the important geometry, right? Which is mostly just the thickness here of the walls and the shape here. So I'm going to go ahead, and it's a little bit curved. I'm going to change that. I'm going to flatten that so I can print it. I'm going to go ahead and draw that, right? And now I'm going to go ahead and measure with these calipers real quick. All right. This distance here, it's hard to get depth perception through a camera. I'm going to measure this distance here in between them, right? That is roughly, doesn't have to be exact, it would be better if it was a little smaller than it is in reality. That is about 53.35 millimeters. I will call it 53. So I'm going to take 53 millimeters. Hang on, let me look through the... Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make that 5. I'm gonna make it bigger so I can read it more easily. Okay, 53 millimeters. All right, this is gonna say negative 0.19. That's funny. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and measure. It's a not a straight flat, right? I don't imagine that's too terribly important. I think, judging off of how things look here, I think what they really did was they like made a flat piece of plastic and bent it up. I don't know for sure, but like, and then they stuck other pieces of plastic on it for the handles. So I'm gonna just, this isn't gonna be an exact copy. It's gonna be, you know, close enough to do the job. At least, hopefully close enough to do the job. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and measure without holding the, this is difficult to measure because these are in the way, and I don't want to cut them off. This broke, which is why I was allowed to take it from work, because the manager, he had to run out to a specialty store and buy a new one for $10, which this was only $10, which is cool. A frickin' heater costs $500. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Anyways, let's see if I can't get away from this. I don't want to break it. Is there a better angle? There would be if it weren't for the fact that this is different. Okay. So instead, I'll see about, this is very hard to do because I'm doing it through a camera and the only light I have is like not good, and then this is shaped in a complex way, creating a bunch of shadows, so I can't see very well easily either. So whatever, I'm gonna measure a different thing then, because I can't quite get the what is the maximum there, and this is 78.25 or 0.147. I'll call that 78 or 77.5 or something. So that's this 78. Right? I need to get the height here. Can I trace it? Not easily. I need to get the height here of this shape without changing too much. Zero that again. I will eyeball it. Depth perception is difficult. Get that as close to a flat as I possibly can. And it's saying, if I can read it, 28. So this height here, I'm gonna put 28 to 30. Because I think, I don't know if it really needs to be 28. I should err on the small end of things because, oh, sorry, I should err on the small end side of things because it needs to fit inside of a French fry cup, and it needs to fit inside the small size French fry cup, obviously. Next, I should measure, actually, hang on. If I make I'm trying to figure out if I have all the measurements I need. If I have this measurement, and this measurement, and this measurement, I can put a point here, here, and here, and make a 3-point arc. So I can copy this geometry, and I can copy this much. I can copy this much of the geometry, right? So that's good. So now this angle. So I'm just gonna draw a rectangle and that. Now something I noticed is in the new fry scoop at work, this little half circle here is just a triangle, and it's a lot shorter at the new one too. I'm guessing to save like a little bit of plastic on each one of these, right? Because if this was being sold for $10 and the other one is also being sold for $10 and they use ever so slightly less plastic in this area, they're gonna save like thousands of dollars over the course of however many of these they sell, you know? So, or well, they're gonna make thousands of dollars more or something. But let's see, I know this size, it's the same as this. So what I really need is this, and maybe the full height of this, but I don't think the full height is required. So I will measure basically from this corner here and try to get all the way down to there. That's annoying. Okay, I'm gonna stand this up. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pull this up. It's very hard to get these measurements. And I've got my finger on the, okay, there it is. Close enough. I am reading 91.2. That one I will err on the long side, so I'll call that 92. The reason I'm erring on the long side for that one is because the longer it is, the more fries you can hold. And this whole length doesn't have to fit inside the fry cup. It's hard to draw through here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and measure the I'm gonna go ahead and measure the circle bit here, 19.12. So 19, and then this is the only thing that I can like easily get, and that is 59.6. So 59. That should be enough geometry, I think, but there is a scooping feature here that is not a 0 degree, that does not taper off down to zero thickness, right? That's got a thickness there. So there's an angle there. I might need to replicate that. I don't know how to get the angle from this because I don't have a protractor, but if I can get a protractor, I can make a protractor if I wanted. I don't feel like making a protractor, but assuming I can assuming wrong end. It's hard to tell what's what through the camera. That is an angle. Okay. So I've got enough to replicate this part, right? And I don't think I need to replicate that scoop, because the scoop is for picking up the food, right? Tongs pick up food. Tongs are good for doing that. So I don't think I'll need to replicate this, because it's not, I don't intend to pick up food the same way, you know? I don't know how I'm gonna test this, because like I'd have to like get French fries or something and test this out on French fries. I don't feel like doing that. I don't want to make that many French fries, and I don't want to like do frozen fries, because frozen fries are covered in like ice and crap, and then they're all watery and slimy and they leave. So anyways, I don't feel like washing things. Anyways, so I have enough to replicate this geometry. The idea for this is going to be, I take this geometry here, right? And I split it down the middle. And each end here is going to be attached to a leg on a pair of tongs. This looks funny. And then the tongs are not going to be the kind where you've got the two pieces with the joint. That's stupid. Especially because I'm 3D printing this and it's going to have to be made out of plastic. It is going to be one continuous piece. Although these right here, I think I'm gonna make into an attachment for the tongs, right? So I would make a pair of tongs, and then half of that geometry, right? And then the other half of the geometry, right? And they go into here. I did not draw that very well, but you get the idea. I get the idea. So yeah, that's what the idea is. Hi, Una. That's what the idea is gonna be. I'm gonna start off trying to replicate this though. And then I'm gonna make tongs, and then I'm gonna see what happens when I break this in half and put them in the tongs. I might instead of splitting it down the middle, split it like here or something, right? The idea being that one side would be the scoop side, and then the other side would, you know, and if one side does have to be the scoop side, then I will have to replicate this scooping feature. But yeah, from this side, it would look like this. There's the handle of the tongs at an angle, and then this, right? This right here would be the flat plate. Right, and the reason it's at an angle and not perpendicular is because people don't hold things like this, right? People do this, not this. A robot would do this, and robots are very efficient and would be so much better at doing all of the things that we do at a fast food place, but no one has bothered to build a fast food robot yet that can replace people who work at fast food places. So that's why that's still a job that exists. So yeah, I might experiment with that angle, and in order to do that, I might put different slots on the same thing. I'm thinking farther ahead than I am right now. So try to replicate the geometry, see how well that works. Try and make a usable pair of tongs, which shouldn't be too hard. It should be fairly easy because there are usable tongs on the internet that I can download, you know. So plus the idea of something that's of just a bent piece, and then you bend it, and then it gets closer together. It's literally just big tweezers. It's not complicated. What's complicated is this part, and this part, and this part. So yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and try and design this idea based off of this. Okay. Alright, so I recorded myself measuring a thing, measuring a fry scoop. That is the wrong... Okay. I recorded myself measuring a fry scoop that I want to modify the design of into... Why is that check mark way the heck over there? An attachment for a pair of tongs. So I got all the measurements, and now I'm gonna just go ahead and put the measurements in. Hang on. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the measurements in that I measured. That was 78. And this is 28. And I didn't get all the measurements, did I? Yes, I did. I just didn't make it right. Okay. So, I'm going to start off with a line that is 78 long, another line that is 53 long, and gonna go ahead and make that into a rectangle and make it 53 and 28. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put points here, here, and here. I don't know why that point didn't snap to the... Anyways. Make that vertical. And then I'll go ahead and make this line 14, which is half of 28. Now I can make an arc like that. Except that one isn't construction. Put a line here. And I'm just trying to replicate the shape of the fry scoop that I measured. And I'm going to offset this by 3 in the other direction. Because all of these were external. Okay. And I forgot to get that thickness there while I recorded myself taking these measurements, but then I realized, oh, I forgot to get this thickness. Then I just measured it and it was 3. So I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna extrude it by, what was that measurement? 92 minus 19. Now I'm gonna start a sketch here. And I'm going to put a half circle in the middle with a diameter of 59. That is bigger than that, so that's gonna do a thing. Anyways, but I'm gonna actually go ahead and make that a triangle. And the reason I'm making that a triangle is because I explained this in the video of me measuring this stuff out. One, I'm not trying to copy the fry scoop exactly. I'm just trying to get a functional copy. And then 2, there is a newer version of the fry scoop where this circle here is a triangle, because that probably just saves the manufacturer some plastic. The reason I'm doing it is because I just like it better. I suspect that what this half circle does, right, is it extends the length of this past these, I don't know what to call them, wings, I guess? I don't know. To allow the French fries to be aligned better when they fall into the cup. I'm going to extrude this to here. And I don't like how thick that is. So even though it was 3 millimeters in the actual thing, I'm going to change that to 2. That looks better to me. Again, it's not supposed to be exact, just functional. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, there was a feature that I never actually measured, because I can just eyeball this. I didn't explain that, but I can just eyeball this. There is a, okay. This comes out at an angle. Right? Extrude this all. There's an angle there. I don't know what that's for exactly, but it does something. And because of that, I'm going to actually go ahead and change this slightly. I don't know, it just kind of looks weird the way it is, so I'm just gonna, for aesthetics, change the change this to be a little bit there we go. I don't know, that looks better to me. But is it? It does look funny. It still looks funny here. Why does it look funny there? That's why. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put a rectangle around this sketch. And what that's gonna do is I'm gonna bring that sketch up and I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out. And now that doesn't look funny. Okay. And so that right there should be enough geometry to mimic the function of the fry scoop that I am aiming for. The actual fry scoop has this kind of a shape to it. Hang on, I'm gonna this is not necessary, but okay. Good. The actual fry scoop has this kind of a shape to it. Right? And this part here is the actual scoop part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put a rectangle here. And I'm gonna make sure it's connected to the right stuff. And gonna go ahead and extrude this all the way up because I have this. That's funny. Cool. Okay, just checking. So now what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and project this into the sketch. I'm going to make a scoop shape. I don't know if I need that angle to be the same as the angle was on the actual scoop. I did draw that angle. I did trace that angle onto my paper so I can measure it eventually. But 60 I can get away with for sure. I can maybe push it to 65 if I go slow. I can probably push it to 70. I'll try for 70. 70's a tough thing to overhang, but we'll see. Gonna offset that by 2. extrude this. Okay. Gonna make this way bigger. Gonna move this back. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. And that cut away the whole scoop because I'm an idiot. What I really need to do is make this not a construction line. Okay. And that is a shape. Now I'm going to make another sketch here. And I'm going to go ahead and project this line. And I'm going to copy again the thing, but going to make sure this is parallel. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out I forgot that I want to keep this part. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut out this. And that should be enough to check that I have at least the functionality of the fry scoop copied. That's the wrong one. Start object to object. Delete that. That didn't, that screwed everything up. Okay. Edit this. No target body found. What is this? Oh, it's because the projection is different. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and move this back to here. And because that's on this plane, I can just... Where's the check mark? Okay. This, nope. Direction not symmetric. Two sides. All on both of them. There. And now I'm gonna go ahead and round things off. Just because I feel like I should. on, maybe it would be easier if I did faces. This face. This face. This face. This face. These faces. How many bodies are there? Okay. Which means that that is... Okay, that's an issue that I'm gonna have to fix first. So interestingly... Oh, I know what the problem is. Okay. I know what the problem is. That's the problem. Because I only did this, I need to also include that. Okie dokie. There we go. And that's one. That's one. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and round off the edges now. I'll just hit the edges I want to round off. All right. Okay. Select these. Okay. That's a really complex geometry right there at this point, but I don't know, I just felt like rounding that off. I'm gonna go ahead and chamfer this. I know the other one doesn't really have much of a chamfer, but two, yeah, okay. Actually, it should be a 2 distance chamfer. Just a little bit more. Okay, so I should be able to print this and see if I've got the functionality of a fry scoop. How can I follow that along? I could sweep it. And I don't feel like sweeping that. Okay, so I should be able to print this and see if it works as a fry scoop. And if this works as a fry scoop, I can continue with the tongs idea. Can I delete this? And this? And this. Okay. I don't like having anything past the thing. And if I continue with the tongs idea, I'm gonna have to test out how the tongs are. I don't know if I want to do that now or in a separate part. I'll just go ahead and print this and save it and test if this works as a fry scoop, or more or less as a fry scoop. So I'm gonna go ahead and rename this to I don't know, scoop. And then I'm gonna save the file. That was wrong. Save it in miscellaneous and call it fry scoop tongs. All right. And now I will go ahead and save it as a mesh. Miscellaneous. New folder. Fry scoop tongs. And save. Okay. Yeah, okay, that I will test now, and then I will be back with the results of that test. Okay. I have some French fries that I made. And I have the thing that I printed, and I have the actual scoop. So now I'm going to test. I'm going to use the scoop. I'm actually going to use the left side because the right side is the side that's broken. I'm going to use the scoop, and it doesn't fit into this cup. I'm going to test it putting fries into this cup and then into this cup just to see how well it works. And then I'm going to do the same with this one, which is just a smaller, it's just this part of it. So, take these fries, put them in the cup, and they just fall right through. Let me try doing it over here because there's more space in this direction. I'm gonna put them and it doesn't do too well with this one because it doesn't go inside of it. Kind of has to go inside of the thing. Right? But yeah, it worked. It worked that well. So now I'm gonna see if this works as well. One thing I noticed is it's actually a lot smaller than this one. It fits inside of it. See, it's funny. So now this one could fit kind of into this one, better than that one. But, yeah. I'm not getting very many fries because this isn't the whole thing, right? I wanted to see if the see the way this one works, right? Is the fries get held on this, right? This is what you scoop up on, and then they get funneled down into This one doesn't have that, right? I just wanted to test the part that deposits them. So what I'm gonna do actually is just put them in the thing and see how well it works. Again, it scoops, right? I'm gonna see about another idea I have, right? If I do this, how well does it work in this one? Better than that one, right? For depositing. So the part that deposits it works good enough. I gotta get a method of actually collecting the fries now, right? Because doing this is dumb, right? I was hoping that this would help, but it kind of just doesn't. If I put my hand up like this, and they're mostly aligned. That's good, because another thing that the scoops do is they help to align the French fries so that you can fit a bunch of French fries into one little fry cup. Because if they don't align you can't get a consistent amount of fries in a cup if they don't align properly, you know? If I really wanted to change this, which I kind of do, I think I'm gonna make this part taller, but I gotta come up first and foremost with a way of collecting the fries, with scooping the fries. So that's what I really need to do, because this part, the part that puts them in the cup that I made, it works well. It works, right? See? And it's hard to see in this one because it's not clear, but they're aligned well enough. Again, a fry cup would only be about that tall, so yay tall. That's more of maybe this tall, maybe this tall, which on this cup is like half the height. So yeah, putting the fries in the cup kind of works. Getting the fries into the scoop is the next part. And that's going to be a different method than this method, because this method is what doesn't work for what I want to use it for. I want to be able to put the fries, or I want to be able to grab the fries straight out of the fry basket. So yeah, I do have a curiosity though. This is the fry basket. Hi, Una. This is the fry basket I use to make the fries. I'm curious to know how well this... I'm making a huge mess on this table, but whatever. I'm curious to know how well this will scoop out of this fry basket. I'm gonna go this way. Because it's smaller than this. Pretty good. Again, scooping like that isn't the method I'm going to use to grab the fries, but like it kind of almost worked. And then this just doesn't fit in there. I mean, it fits this way, right? But there's hardly enough room to grab a fry that way. So now what I could do is I can make this but skinnier so that it does fit in the fry basket, and then put a long handle on it. But that might be what I end up doing eventually, which is simpler and better. But I would just want to make tongs. I just want to make tongs. So I'm gonna try and make tongs first. Right, and I'm gonna split it probably here rather than here, rather than in the middle. I'm probably gonna split it here, so that I can like reach in with the tongs and like scoop and then close the tongs, right? And then I can do that. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna now eat the French fries. And then I'm gonna change this design. I'm gonna make this taller. I think this could stand to be taller, the thing here. And then another thing, this angle here kind of just isn't on the actual fry scoop because the actual fry scoop goes up to the funnel. I put that to just be similar to the other side. This angle here, not really, it should have been flat. That would have been better if it was flat. So make this taller, take this angle away, make it flat. And then the this feature here, this triangle bit, that's good. It works just as well as the half circle, but the half circle I think might use more. The way I put the half circle in the files when I made I based the triangle bit off of a half circle. And then I just put a line from here to there to there, right? It'll use less plastic that way, and it works just as well. So it's not like I'm being cheap or anything. It's an actual good improvement over. So you know, the one at work where it's just a triangle instead of this half circle, it is an actual improved design because it uses less resources to accomplish an identical result. So, yeah. So yeah, make it taller this way and make this flatter. And then come up with some way of making tongs out of it. And I think that'll work. I think the next thing I do is gonna test how well I can make tongs. So that's gonna be the next thing I do, and then after that I'm gonna change this taller this way, flatter this way. All right.